Activision Blizzard is destroying the industry and nobody cares. Actually, that's not true. I care. I hope they destroy the gaming industry. Every fail, every blunder that these AAA gaming companies make makes me feel happy, man. Puts money in my pocket. 'Cause I don't play these new games. I don't play AAA games. I play indie and retro games pretty much exclusively. Every once in a while, I'll buy a new game. The last brand new game I bought was Baldur's Gate 3. I bought Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, but I pretty much immediately refunded it because they changed a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't want them to change, so I was out on it. I'm just gonna wait for the Sky Oblivion. Anyway, that's Bethesda, that's not Activision Blizzard. Let's get into this video. Indeed, on.
Activision Blizzard and Microsoft, who owns them, are two sides of the same coin that continue to pull the entire game industry into a pit of greed and darkness with every decision they seem to be making these days. Although, credit where it's due, of course, while Microsoft is known for the predatory stuff, I will admit they do sometimes release bangers like Doom: The Dark Ages, which
A banger like Doom Dark Ages. I'll probably buy it in a few years when it's on sale for $5-10. That's what I did with Doom 1 and 2. Doom and Doom Eternal. I got it for $20 for both of them, like a year ago.
Is a single-player offering that is full of content for players to enjoy. And while I'm sure Doom will be a big success for both id Software and Microsoft, the majority of what's coming out under Microsoft's wings are, well, it's not looking great. I gotta be honest. To put it simply, fellas, these companies are getting away with murder at this point, and we all know about the price hike in games.
And the murder that they're getting away with is of the gaming industry.
Thanks to Nintendo, who genuinely thinks their asset-flipped games like Mario Kart are somehow worth $80 or $90 American at release, which is...
They totally are, 100%. Not worth it to us, but people who always buy every Nintendo title, still worth it to them. They're still gonna buy it. I wonder how long they're gonna keep up, though.
Insane. Yeah, the same Nintendo that also recently told Palworld devs to remove anything that makes it resemble Pokemon pretty much. It's bad, guys. But then Microsoft decided, oh, Nintendo is raising prices? Well, we might as well too, cause why not? Thankfully, that $80-90 price increase for Microsoft products doesn't actually go into effect until fall 2025. So Doom: The Dark Ages, at least, is not retailing for those numbers normally. Well, not yet anyways. But the hubris of Microsoft to believe that this is a good idea is actually terrible. For a good recent example is becoming Diablo 4. Look at that game, which Activision Blizzard makes and is of course under Microsoft too, has announced a Berserk DLC crossover for Diablo 4. This is a really great crossover idea on paper. I mean, come on, Berserk is responsible for the entirety of the Soulsborne Souls-like genre's aesthetic.
It's still gonna be Diablo 4 though.
Software has made it clear that they draw inspiration from that iconic manga with their every game, from Demon Souls all the way to Elden Ring and more. So while this is great, as you can see here, Diablo 4's Berserk DLC crossover will cost you about, and this is where it gets bad,
$90. I'm gonna say it, $90. Is it gonna be more than that?
This crossover is gonna cost you about $150.
What the fuck? Excuse me? What? How did we get to this point? That's like almost double what I said.
American if you want those cosmetics in game. Let me break it down for you how dangerously predatory this crossover is in Diablo 4. So there's 6 content packs with this Berserk DLC. 4 of them are outfits designed around iconic Berserk characters. One is a mount and then the other is a pet. Here you can see all the cosmetics on offer in Diablo 4 for this event on screen here. It's a lot of stuff, I know, but the fact that it's retailing for basically what? Twice the price of the base game at release pretty much, that is insane. And
it's like they made a DLC and then pulled it apart and sold the little bitty pieces of it. And if you put it all together as one, is $150 for a DLC that used to be $10. DLC expansions used to be $10.
There's no defending it. Here's another picture of the outfits, as you can see here, and they look great, which is another problem because it means there will be people who will just buy this obviously either way. But then you're probably thinking, well, when this sort of stuff comes out, there's usually a discounted price, right? To get it all at once instead of individually. Actually, in this case, that is impossible, and no, I'm not kidding either. You see, each outfit in this bundle goes for 2,800 platinum, which is the currency Diablo uses to buy microtransactions. So each of these skins in American dollars equates to about $25 per outfit alone. Yes, one outfit is like 1/4 the price or more of the base game at release. That is insane. So if you buy just the outfits alone, you're looking at a little over $100 American, which in Canadian dollars puts this in the $120, $130 mark for those 4 outfits alone.
For fucking skins. For fucking skin. It's not even like actually adding anything.
My god, dude. But of course, like always, the way these companies operate, it's also predatory at the best of times too. You see, there's no actual option to buy the exact amount of platinum you need to buy what you want from this Diablo's cosmetic store pack. They have packs in their store like 1,000 platinum or 2,800 platinum. And then at its highest, Diablo 4 offers a pack of 18,500 platinum for players to buy. So if you buy this 18,500 platinum stuff that gives you enough currency to then buy the entire Diablo 4 Berserk bundle, this will also leave you with about 2,000 platinum left to buy something else from the store too, which some may say, oh, that's nice of them. Well, no, not really. You see, this is a tactic that is used and abused time and again by companies like this.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, I got 2,000 credits left. I'm gonna go and buy something. Shit. Everything that's good is like 2,200 or more. So I'm gonna have to buy some more, but I can only buy 1,000. So I'm gonna have like 1,200 left over. I might as well spend that. Oh shit. Everything that I could actually spend this 1,200 on costs 1,300. I'm gonna have to buy 1,000 more.
There's a reason why so many live service games never actually allow you to buy the exact amount of whatever their currency in their game is called. Because if you could buy the currency you need to a 1-to-1 ratio, you would buy the thing you want and then you're good. You would then close the shop and leave and go back to playing the game or something else, but that's bad for business, which is why every bundle is skewed, as are the prices of said items too. And it's all to ensure that you're always left with just a little bit more or just a little bit less. So you may see something you like that's just out of your premium currency range that you have right now. Oh, that item is $10. Oh, but I only have $7 or $8 in that currency. Well, what's $2 extra, right? But you really can't buy the $2 you need. No, you can only buy the $5 pack instead. So now, for you to get your $2 of makeup currency stuff, they just made $3 extra because they just swindled you and you didn't even notice because the dopamine is clouding your brain. And look, everyone's done it.
Yeah, well, I haven't. He says everybody's done it. I do not buy microtransactions. I don't think that I've ever bought an actual microtransaction that didn't actually affect the game. It was like just skins. I haven't bought any extra characters that were just microtransaction type characters. I've bought extra characters for games, but as like expansions. Like, you know, the Borderlands 2 characters.
I know, but that's the point. And this is how companies get you to pay these weird prices and why nothing is ever really simple and clear cut when it comes to these things. It's the same reason why when you go to the store, you'll see an item for $19.99. Why not just say $20 instead? Because your brain will see $19.99, which is technically not 20 because it's a 19, and your brain will go, well, I mean, it's below $20. It says $19.99, so I guess I'll just buy it. But then when you pay, it's always over that with taxes, and ta-da, you got bamboozled again. Yeah, it's all a bunch of mind games is what I'm trying to say, and Activision Blizzard has been getting away with this kind of thing for a really long time. But the fact they are charging effectively twice the price of the base game at launch, mind you, for these skins and bundles, is why this industry continues down this path. Because I know people will buy this. The same thing goes with the Call of Duty stuff, which is also Microsoft and Activision owned, and is yet another storefront that is just filled to the brim with.
The problem is with this stuff, people don't actually buy this stuff. A few people do, but you're pushing out the people who actually want to play all of your games when they come out. The rest of the people, who sometimes might buy some microtransactions, but they're not going to spend $90 on Ninja Turtle skins, $150 on Berserk skins for an anime that nobody even really watched, except for veteran anime enjoyers. It's so dumb. It is so dumb. You're just making your game worse. Diablo 5, can it even exist at this point? Is Activision Blizzard even going to be around? Because it seems like everything they're doing is just, sure, more money, but they're also at the same time creating bad faith and destroying themselves.
With bundles and weapon skins all designed to also prey on your wallet. Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, list goes on. So many of these games all do the exact same thing. But it's all...
And they all want you to play all of them. Or no, actually, they all want you to play only their game. But that's not how it works. All people are playing all of them. And they all want your money, and you can't spend all of your money on every game. You can only spend some of your money on every game. And we're just getting more and more games like this. Used to, when we were originally complaining, we'd be like, oh, there's this free game. Oh, there's another free game. Now, they're all like $60, $80. And they have all these free-to-play mechanics that we used to complain about being in free-to-play games that are in our premium games now. And people are still fucking buying them and paying for them. You know? I don't even actually care. I'm just tired of seeing it and tired of hearing about it and tired of people not playing the actual good games and actual good games going by the wayside, and we discover them like 5 years later, 10 years later. And they were like, oh shit, how did we all miss this awesome indie game that released 5 years ago? Oh, because everybody was too busy buying skins in Call of Duty Warzone.
Always Activision Blizzard that I noticed that usually gets singled out because while other companies are greedy too, even like Electronic Arts even, but Activision Blizzard, man, let's just say it, they are probably the greediest of them all, unfortunately.
Yeah, they just started like advertising actually in the game. Oh, this person that killed you has a bunch of awesome stuff. You want to buy that? You want to save that blueprint for later so you can buy all of this?
Or they're at least up there in like the top 3. Here's a breakdown a user on Reddit did for the Diablo premium currency for the Berserk stuff, and the longer you look at this, the worse it keeps getting. These people are literally getting away with murder, and nobody seems to care. It's not like this is a one and done sort of deal either. Back in 2024, Activision Blizzard sold a Godzilla x Kong the New Empire bundle in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and I guess Warzone 2 since it's all pretty much the same thing. But anyway, except as you can see here in this article on screen, that Godzilla Kong crossover costed more than the base game it was being sold in, and I'll show you. You see, in order to get the Beast Glove in Call of Duty, you need to buy items from what's called the Titan Collection. Each bundle of this Titan Collection went for 2,400 COD points, which is about $26 Canadian a pop. But if you bought one of the Titan Collection parts, you still couldn't get the glove. No, dear viewer, you needed to up those numbers. What are you, cheapskates? Don't you people have credit cards? Stop being cheap and let me see what's in your wallet. Give me your credit card number. Flip that sucker over. I need that 3-digit activation code too while you're at it. Because in Call of Duty, we're high rollers here. So if you wanted that Beast Glove to flex on other players, you would have to buy enough of the Titan Collection to then unlock the privilege of getting that glove in game.
How is this even allowed? How is in-game currency allowed, actually? When you go to a store or a gas station, does like every store and gas station you go to have their own different currency where you walk in and they're like, oh, actually, you can't buy any of this stuff unless you trade for our currency. Oh, actually, you can't do direct across trade for the currency. You actually have to buy 600 of our currency, which equals like $4.37. See, it's not even. It can't be even. It can't be a 1-to-1. It has to be slightly different. Even if the currency matches up 1-to-1 in a way and the currency is even, when you go to buy something, they're not even. Their prices aren't even. They don't match up to the amount of currency you have. You always got some left over, or you always don't have enough. That should not be allowed. When you go into a gas station, they don't make you purchase their own currency so that you have to go to the next gas station, purchase their currency. At least I hope that's not where we're headed. If people keep, being okay with stuff like this, that is where we're headed.
Total, this meant you had to buy 9,600 COD points to meet the criteria threshold to then obtain your Beast Glove. In Canadian dollars, this means that you would need to spend $105.96 in microtransactions in a fully priced video game, by the way, which was Modern Warfare 3 at this time, to then gain access to this stupid glove to then use in-game as your melee weapon. That is insane. Meaning, if you see someone with this Beast Glove in-game, they spend more money buying bundles in the online store than what they paid for the entire game it released and all that. How is that okay? This is insane. But again,
It's okay because people keep playing it and keep buying it. That's what makes it okay.
despite the backlash, people just kind of went, oh well, and Activision Blizzard yet again got away with it like they always do. But when you look at the raw stats, it's eye-watering how lucrative and prevalent these tactics are becoming. To prove it, here's this article from Insider Gaming where it said that 58% of all revenue on PC alone came from microtransactions and not actual game sales or anything like that. Over half of the money made came from stuff like this Berserk bundle or the Godzilla Kong glove thing. You gotta be kidding me. And if you want a raw number to go with that 58%, it's $24.4 billion American.
What is the percentage of the player base that actually buys microtransactions? That's a statistic that I'd like to know, because I don't know anybody who does. Some people that I know will every once in a while buy like a $5 skin for a thing that they like, that they're a fan of, that just happens to be in the game that they're playing. But most people don't buy microtransactions. Is it just whales? Is it just like content creators and people who are like making way too much money or have addictions to gambling and stuff? Are those the people that are purchasing all of this stuff?
That was spent on microtransactions alone in 2024 on PC. Yeah, this doesn't even include PlayStation or anything else. I'm sure if we tallied that all up, the number would just put me into a coma upon hearing it. And only 28% of the revenue for PC gaming actually came from selling the games themselves to players. So,
well, I mean, people keep playing them. People keep buying them. You get what you pay for, you know? You really do. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad that people are just going to keep letting this happen. People are going to glaze these companies and even defend them. Even defend these shitty practices. Like, oh, these developers got mouths to feed. They have to feed themselves. They're people too. Well, you know what? There are people working in sweatshops. They need money. They need to eat. They got nowhere else to go. They got nothing else to do. We got to keep buying their sweatshop slavery products because we got to keep these companies in business so they can feed these people because they're hungry. It makes no fucking sense.
it then stands that these companies are not only being rewarded, but it's practically moronic to not include live service microtransaction elements to your games going forward now for the rest of time. Although, as in this article here says, microtransaction spending overall was down in 2024 compared to 2023. It saw a 14% drop.
Yeah, people got less money to buy stuff in video games nowadays. And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And also, every video game has this stuff in it. It used to be like here and there'd be video games. Now it's fucking all of them. So it's getting stretched thin. You're only buying a skin in this game, a skin in that game, a couple in this game, instead of all the skins in this game, all the skins in that game.
And according to Newzoo and Insider Gaming, in that same report as seen here, premium games, that means fully priced video games, accounted for $19.9 billion of revenue for companies on console alone, which is almost about half of the amount of money console games made, which was $42.8 billion as well. This still means that roughly half of the revenue from console gaming as well comes exclusively from the very same predatory practices like Activision Blizzard is pushing and more that prey upon regardless. So what the hell are we supposed to do when basically more than half of the gaming industry now is making money from selling Berserk skins and monkey gloves?
Stop playing them. Start playing your backlog. Start playing older games. Start looking for games that are normally just gonna fall through the cracks. That's what you got to do. Stop chasing trends. Stop chasing popularity. Stop having these cases of FOMO every time a new game comes out, the fear of missing out. You can miss out, man. It's not that big a deal. They're just video games. It's just entertainment. You don't have to. You can do something else.
Where does the talent and the art go then? What are we actually heading towards in the future? Well, there is a light in this suffocating darkness, at least somewhat, which is the return of the $50-$60 video game. We know that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 was a big hit. It didn't have a massive budget, and yet it still sold well over 2 million copies, and wasn't a fully priced video game that was filled with bundles double the price of the game itself. And hey, I'm really happy that Claire Obscure exists. I want more games like that within that price range. And
well, we're gonna get them. It's usually what happens whenever you get a game that's a big hit, you get copycats. And it's gonna be great. And there's probably gonna be games that come out that are gonna be way more successful than Claire Obscure, whatever it's called, 33.
length to keep coming. And I do think there's a real tangible future for more games to come that have both smaller budgets like Claire Obscure, while also being made by smaller teams and not costing your entire paycheck to buy when they release. And another light in the darkness also comes this August in Mafia: The Old Country, which, like Claire Obscure, has been confirmed to cost $50 American or about $66 Canadian at release.
Dude, I love this whole new thing where we're getting smaller games for $50. I love it. We need more of this. I think we're going to get more of this. Yes, please. I will get back into the AAA gaming space if the games are smaller with no microtransactions and are $50.
As we can see here, 2K confirms that Mafia: The Old Country will be a focused single-player non-open world game that will cost much less than your Call of Duties or your Diablos. And I just want to say, thank God for that. Please, game industry, please keep going in this direction. Not only does Mafia look amazing, I am definitely playing this day one.
The more we talk about these games, the more we play them, the more we purchase them, the more popular they will become.
Look at this game, man. The fact it's not full priced and it's not open world, are you kidding me? This is all music to my ears. I don't know about you guys, but I am genuinely sick of open world games these days.
True. I'm more into like open space games than open world games. Games like Fable, where it's kind of like it's an open world, but it's not really. It's like different spaces, or like Borderlands.
They're too big, oftentimes full of nothing, but the same recycled content and activities, and you just do the same slop over and over again ad nauseum.
Yeah, go here, fight this base, collect these items, get this tower, open up this part of the map. Yeah, it's all the same.
Maybe it's because when I reviewed Assassin's Creed Shadows for the channel, but that game structure just kind of broke me when I played it earlier this year, because it was literally the same crap over and over again, and it never changed or evolved, and Shadows was perfectly content.
But it was pretty. It was pretty, so it's 10 out of 10 game if it's pretty.
To just be the same game as previous ones without changing much of anything, and maybe that's why I was so happy when I played Claire Obscure, because it was level based. Sure, it has an overworld, but it's not open world like these AAA games usually are. So
yeah, being open world and being really pretty doesn't cut it anymore, because it's so easy to make games look really, really good nowadays.
when I look at something like Mafia, I get happy and excited to play it because, wow, you can ride a horse during one sequence or even a car. You can do stealth and shoot people, and the graphics look really nice. And
holy shit, variety? What?
it takes place in a setting that is criminally underutilized in today's pop culture, which is Italy, by the way. When was the last time you played a game set in Italy, you think? For most of you, it's probably going to be Assassin's Creed 2, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I can't think of any other game I played set in that part of the world. Well, I guess Brotherhood too, but same thing pretty much. So with such a unique setting, time period not being full price, hopefully not being filled to the brim with microtransactions, jury's still out on that one, and it not being open world, this is everything I want from my video games in 2025, if you ask me. The fact that technically speaking, you could basically buy Mafia: The Old Country and Claire Obscure for the price of that Berserk DLC bundle in Diablo, that tells you everything, dude. In what world?
Well, wait, actually, it'd be cheaper. It would be a lot cheaper, actually. 50 plus 50, that's only $100. And if that Berserk DLC is $150, you could buy Oblivion Remastered also.
Can it be justified that cosmetic skins in a crossover, no less, cost more money than world-class new releases like Claire Obscure? And how the hell are games like Claire Obscure supposed to thrive or convince publishers to allow such games to exist in the future when the data tells them to make nothing but open-world live service slop games?
Yeah, right. The people who made Claire Obscure were people that were at Ubisoft, and Ubisoft told them no, so they were like, all right, well, I'm out. I'm gonna go make it myself. And then look at that. It almost got to the popularity of Assassin's Creed Shadows, a AAA IP that's been around for like 20 plus years, and this game just comes out of nowhere from a person that could have used Ubisoft's tools and people and marketing to make this game even better. Maybe it probably wouldn't have been if it actually would have come from Ubisoft and they would have put microtransactions in and would have made it live service and all that. But they missed a huge opportunity because they're stupid.
Games over and over and just do, crossovers that make basically zero sense instead, because why spend years making actual art like Clair Obscur when you can just sell Seth Rogen as a skin in Call of Duty?
Jay and Silent Bob, remember that? Remember that? Those guys? Remember?
And this is why I'm worried about this. Because realistically speaking, from a financial benefit perspective, there's no tangible reason why Activision Blizzard or say any other company really would want to make these cheaper alternative games. Would they be softer hits if those games underperformed? I mean, yes, but the allure of making a gazillion quadrillion dollars from your My Little Pony crossover is also just as eye-waveringly tempting to do to these types. I think, however, what 2K president David Ismailer said about Mafia: The Old Country is what I want more of. He said this: "We think there's a large audience for compelling stories that don't require massive time commitments. We're excited to offer a game like Mafia: The Old Country in our portfolio, and to provide a linear, highly polished narrative experience that can easily complement the other more persistent games our players also love and engage with on a more consistent basis."
How long is it going to be? How long? Is it going to be 15 hours, 20 hours long? That would be perfect. I guarantee that's how long it's going to be. It's going to be like 15, 20 hours long. With some extras in there. There might be some extras. Maybe a new game plus. Who knows? I really want to play this game, actually. I love the Mafia games. And this new Mafia game looks incredible. It sounds incredible. It sounds like a game-ass game.
Means live service games, by the way. And God, I just want these kinds of games by the boatload. That Mafia and Clair Obscur, I mean, not, the live service ones. You know how nice it is to just play something these days knowing that you aren't going to have to spend like 100 hours of your life to beat it? I yearn for the 20, 30-hour games that, don't cost me $90 or whatever at release.
I've been asking the internet, like, how long is this game if I am to do everything? How long is it for me to just run through it? And if it's gonna take more than like 40 hours, I ain't in it. I ain't into it. Unless it's like a survival crafting game like Terraria or Minecraft, where you can put in 5 hours, you can put in 1,000 hours, and it's still pretty much the same game. Those are different. But like for these narrative experiences, I'm not gonna play a game for over 100 hours anymore. The times where I would be okay with a Witcher 3 game, a game that size, long gone to me. I just don't have time. I'd be playing that one game for a year and nothing else.
This is why I hope people support Mafia, because we need more games like this and Clair Obscur. Just great content that doesn't require you to sign in every day for daily challenges or live in their world nonsense. Just hit play, play it, beat it, that was great, enjoy it, and turn it off. That's what gaming used to be.
Yeah, and then maybe in the future, in a few years, pick it back up again, give it a replay. Maybe buy it on something else, on a different console, maybe on a handheld, and play it again.
Not whatever the hell is happening now with these prices and then some. Even Shuhei Yoshida, who worked at PlayStation for like 38 years, is concerned about these very things. This is from Games Radar, and it's titled, "Former PlayStation boss blames AAA production costs for $80 games, says titles with tighter teams like Clair Obscur could be the way forward."
It's probably gonna be. Nobody's gonna pay $80 for a mediocre game. So, more people would pay $70 for a mediocre game. Even more would pay $60. Even more would pay $50. Even more would pay $40. But no, we're just gonna keep. I mean, people will pay $80 for a 7 out of 10 game. They will. 8 out of 10 game, $80. 9 out of 10 game, people have no problem paying $80 for it. But if it's like a 6 out of 10 Star Wars Outlaws or something like that, nobody's paying $80 for that.
As Shuhei Yoshida put it here, for the reasoning why everything is so damn expensive, inflation is real and significant. But people expect games that are ever more ambitious and therefore expensive to develop. It's an impossible equation, pretty much something needed to give.
No, people actually don't want super ambitious, over the top, next big thing, better than anything before it. People don't want that. They want games that are fun. They want games that they haven't seen, like stuff in a game like that in 10 years sometimes. Sometimes they like to see new stuff that they've never seen before. But people just, at the end of the day, want to play good games that they haven't played in a while. Sometimes they want to play bad games. I mean, like, come on now. Release a $10 bad game. And if it's fun, people will buy it in droves.
It was either games needed to be less ambitious or large, or they stay the same or get bigger but cost even more. Shuhei then continues further by saying this: everything in video games today is more advanced and more technologically demanding than ever before, and therefore requires more resources. In the end, the heart of the matter lies in production costs, and that's why industry actors are so keen to diversify their revenues, in order to continue producing the AAA games that the public buys before anything else.
A lot of this, though, is due to them focusing on the wrong things. They're like, we have to make this game as pretty as possible. Prettier than any game that's come out before it. So we have to refine the intricate details of every single pebble on this gravel path. Every single blade of grass. Every single little tiny pinprick in a leaf needs to have light shining through it. This game's gonna cost $600 million. And we're also going to put gay characters in it.
Grand Theft Auto 6 is then also brought up into the debates because after that new trailer, which you're seeing on screen now, released, and people just saw how Rockstar had people with realistic hair and even bubbles and beer bottles and animated to like painstakingly realistic degrees, dude. I mean, if there was any game that was probably worth $90 or hell even $100 plus at release, it's probably Grand Theft Auto 6.
I just hope they don't have a bunch of weird woke nonsense in it, but I'm hearing that it will. I'm hearing that LGBT people are a protected class in this game. And I've been hearing this for years, and it's starting to ring true.
But the reality is that most companies besides Rockstar are not operating at their level, nor do they have the budget or time to take the care needed to create an experience that is just so ridiculously detailed like that is. And the truth is that most studios are one bad game release from pretty much dying, the same way that if you didn't know, about 50% of all new restaurants that opened usually close within a year or two. And the reasoning is simple, because competition is cutthroat and you either sink or you swim pretty much. And when it comes to video games, how can the industry be convinced to make more shorter focus experiences that only have a single price tag?
Yeah, man, something's got to give with the GTA franchise. They can't just keep making these games that just destroy the records. Especially if you start letting activists get in, especially if you start letting more and more people be involved, because more and more people will band together and put their ideas and things, and you can't do anything about it because you don't even know it's there. You don't know what all is in here. It's too big. And all it takes is one game to destroy all of Rockstar, because that's what they do. They make one game. They can't have one bad release
attached to them, when Call of Duty and Diablo, to name just a few, are selling cosmetics worth more than entire new games. Shuhei Yoshida also spoke on Clair Obscur and all of that. Here's what he said: GTA 6 will obviously be a case in point, but if you take the example of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the game is just as phenomenal visually, despite the fact that the team only has around 30 people. This is one of the ways forward, I think, because you can make excellent games with tighter teams and budgets without compromising quality. And I agree, I frankly think there's two big monsters in the room, if you will, that are destroying video games pretty much.
Yeah, like, where do we go from here? Where do we go with the biggest, best, most expensive game of all time? The next one has to be the biggest, best, most expensive game of all time too. And it's unsustainable. We can't keep doing this forever.
One of them, yeah, that's the ideological, agenda-driven people stuff, the ones who ruin your games for political reasons and all that other nonsense. And then the other, just as destructive monster, is the greedy executive types that truly couldn't care less about the player experience, even if you tried explaining it to them. And
yeah, they just see dollar signs. It doesn't matter even if they got less players, if they're making more money.
those greedy exec types, they don't really care about winning Game of the Year or anything like that. Basically, they don't care about the art in it, if you will. Because to them, the only real benefit of winning something like Game of the Year would be to just slap that label on the cover of the game to sell more copies, so they can keep buying expensive watches and eating all the caviar they want. And none of this integrity and love for the media matters if it doesn't equate to more zeros in the balance sheet for them. But
shit, we just hit record high profits. What do we do? What do we do to make even more profits from this? I know. Let's lay off everybody. Oh, we got a little bit of extra money. I think I could take a $2 million extra paycheck for my bonus this year.
But I am glad that consumer spending, as I showed earlier, did drop about 14% since last year, and I mean good. And I mean consumer spending as in microtransactions, not buying video games or anything like that, because the less people that buy that sort of slop, the less it will happen, hopefully, in theory. I know this will never be fully eradicated, because the truth is that these live service games like Call of Duty, Diablo, and more, they all have servers to maintain to keep their games running, and you need revenue to keep those servers running by employing people. I get it. So while sure they can try to justify these insane prices as to why they're needed to keep their games running, which in Call of Duty's case, the game like runs like ass anyway, so where's that money going? That's a good question, but anyways, we're still reaching a point of no return here where the industry has got to hit some button, any button, panic, reset, even the nuke button. Just things need to change going forward. Otherwise, the gaming industry will just keep going down this very destructive path. Think about it, man. How many true single-player first-party games have come from Sony in the PS5 era alone? Let me count them for you. You got Astro Bot, Death Stranding 2, which is not out yet, Demon Souls remake, Ghost of Yote, that also hasn't come out yet, but that's later this year, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Horizon Forbidden West, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and oh yeah, Returnal 2. That's 7 single-player video games, well I guess 5 technically, because 2 of them are not.
Like, these companies, what they did was they built a tower 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and instead of decommissioning the tower and, demolishing it, and making a new tower in its place, they're just taking the old tower and repairing it and adding more additions to it over the years, and it's just crumbling. And eventually, it's gonna collapse. All at once, nobody's gonna see it coming, with a bunch of people in it.
Out yet, but anyway, still. But that still shows you that instead Sony has also greenlit over a dozen of these live service games and canceled about 8 or 9 of them that we know of that are live service.
And that's just that we know of that they greenlit. They've still got so many in the works, so many ideas. They've probably got 20 games coming out in the next couple years that are all live service slop games. One of them's got to stick. One of them's got to make millions upon millions of dollars, right?
Off the top of my head, they canceled a God of War live service game, a sci-fi based one. There was a Twisted Metal one too. Last of Us Online got canceled. There was one that got leaked called Spider-Man the Great Web. That's canceled. The Deviation game that lost like 80% of its staff, that's gone too. Operation Payback, which was supposed to be Destiny 3, that got canceled. Then there was a fantasy live service game that also got shut down, and a few more. I just forgot which ones off the top of my head. But the point is they've canceled more first-party games than they've released in recent years, and that's terrible considering that this just means that the PS5 generation has been far more barren compared to previous generations. Oh yeah, they also canceled a, a Horizon live service game. That's what it was too. I forgot about that one, that it even existed. But anyway, if you can't tell, I'm sick of the slop, and most of you probably are too. But
yeah, we are. We are. I've been feeling sentiment in my comments and on social media that everybody's tired of this. The only people who aren't tired of it, I don't think actually play games and just want to argue and, own the judge. So they're just insulting me, and not even insulting my opinions, just straight up insulting me and like the way I look and the way I sound. And I'm like, yeah, that has a lot to do with this video game that I'm talking about.
Since Black Ops 6 sold the most copies of all COD games and pushed the series past 500 million copies sold, as you are seeing on screen here, the likelihood that Activision Blizzard of all people will not be stopping their crusade until everything they make is a live service game, no matter the cost. But the way that the industry is going, we have some bright spots. I just hope by making videos like these that I can show people those sorts of games and people will support them so that we can have actual good, artistic games still being made in the future. Obviously, support what you love. I understand that some live service games people still enjoy. I get it. I'm not calling it evil or bad if you enjoy Call of Duty or Rivals or even Diablo. But I think there comes a point where the predatory behavior of how expensive things are getting needs to be called out, and it does need to change.
Like, you can play these games and still call it out. You don't have to defend it. You can say, hey, this game is actually garbage. This company is actually garbage, but there's enough in it that's fun to keep me in it. But they need to take this stuff out or I'm gonna be out in the future. They need to make threats like this. They don't. They just want to keep glazing it, saying it's okay, and then defending it and being like, well, they gotta do this because they gotta keep the servers running. They gotta do this because they got mouths to feed. They gotta do this because the executives need their $4 million watches and their yachts. and their vacations to the Bahamas. That's all I got for this video. I hope the gaming industry crashes soon. Buy a t-shirt down there in the description. I'm out.